Good morning, good morning. It is great to have you with us this morning. Wherever you are, you're just so welcome. My name's Phil Hawkins, and I'll be hosting today. I've got with me two super people. I've got the lady on my left.
Morning.
Who are you?
I think I'm your wife. My name is Jill Hawkins.
Okay. And on my right, we're not related, are we?
No.
Who are you?
Hi, I'm Giles Mahoney. Hi, nice to see you all. Good morning. We can't actually see them though, can we?
No,
It's nice that you can see us this morning.
But they can't see you, but they can talk to you, can't they?
Yes.
How can they do that?
So I'm doing the online piece. So if you want to use the chat function in YouTube, do that and just drop in. We're going to ask you a few questions. Feel free to drop in those into the chat and we'll feed those into the discussion.
Awesome. Yeah. So get out your phones and get onto that live chat. Yeah. And the question we are asking you today is actually all about waiting. All right. The question is, what's the longest thing you've ever waited for, and what was it? All right, so
how long did you wait?
Yeah, how long did you wait, and what did you wait for? So, Jill, what about you?
I don't think this is the longest thing I've ever waited for, but one of the things that I remember, and it's a long, long time ago, we're back into the 80s, this was, but a good friend of mine began to make a big noise about my Christmas present a long time before Christmas. Was going around my family and friends describing this fantastic present. And my anticipation just rose and rose and rose. And I was really, by Christmas morning, I was super excited about this gift. Now, when I was telling my mates earlier, they said, oh, people won't know what this is, but the gift was moon boots. Now, if you were born pre-80s, or like in the 60s, like me, you'll know what moon boots are. But moon boots were basically padded, multicoloured boots. Which,
like inflatable Ugg boots.
Yes.
Yeah, but not made of the kind of leather, suede, nice quality stuff. Synthetic, really synthetic, plasticky. And they were for walking in the snow. And I hated them. I mean, they were fashionable at the time.
They were fashionable.
But it was such a dissy on Christmas morning that I just couldn't hide it. And there was a big kind of, it was nasty. It wasn't there.
Bless you. What about you, Giles?
Well, mine was a little bit funnier. So my wife and I got married when we were quite young, like 16. No, we got married when we were 21 and 22. I was still a student, actually, which was scandalous at the time. And we, in our pre-marriage course that we did some talking through with people about what it's to be involved in marriage and stuff like that. It was quite helpful, except for 6 weeks before. They said, fill in these questionnaires and we'll look at different things. One of the questions was, how many children do you want? Do you want to have children, and how many do you want? So I wrote...
Good question.
I wrote, I would love to have kids, and loads. And then my wife-to-be said, never, none, and never. So it was a little bit of an issue that our poor friends had to help us work through. So then I said, well, basically I'll wait 10 years and just see what happens. And 10 years later, Mac decided that she did want to have kids, and we now have two brilliant kids. So it's awesome. A good story about how you...
Waiting.
You're waiting,
What about you, Phil?
I think for me, maybe there'll be some parents out there that can really relate to this. I've had to learn, and the wait time has increased over the years, of teenagers in the bathroom. I mean, what are they doing in there? All right. I think it might involve phones, and it might involve earbuds, and it's like goes on for so long. All right. So I've probably really embarrassed them now. Never mind. This isn't live or anything. All right. But what's your stories? Do connect with Giles on the live chat. We'd love to hear your stories of what you've waited for and how long it was. But what we'd like to do now is I'd like to introduce you to Jane and the band. And Jane is going to share a song. Jane, morning to you. What song are you bringing to us today, and why are you doing that?
Morning, Phil. Morning, everybody. Well, the song's called The Goodness of God, and when I chose this song, I was thinking how actually many of us are still struggling with sadness or loss, anxiety, and that's only natural. But when we deliberately look back over the good things in life and the good things around us, when I realise that I'm actually held in God's hand day by day, no matter what I'm going through, that really gives me hope and helps me to refocus. So this is a prayer of thanks for the goodness of God. I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire. In darkest night, you are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. I have lived in the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. My life laid down, surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness
There we
of
go.
God. I will sing of the goodness of God.
Wow.
Lovely.
Thank you so much,
Yeah, it's
Jane
great.
and the band. That was absolutely beautiful, wasn't it? All right. So, yeah, we're going to be hearing from Jill in a moment, but we're going to come first to Giles here. Giles, has there been anything coming in online?
Yeah, there's a couple of funny relationship-based ones. So Nikki Watts says, she had to wait a while for a marriage proposal.
Did you hear that, Matt?
So well done, Matt, who's down here. Her husband is down in the band. And Aid Goodall, dialing in from Essex today, he's waited 35 years for his girlfriend, and he wrote down a list of 24 things. And 5 years ago, he met her, and she ticks every one.
Oh,
So,
wow.
well done, Matt.
Wow.
That's
Nice.
great.
Nice. Okay, thank you so much. Do keep them coming in. What have you waited for? All right, and we'll be coming back to Giles a bit later on. But now we go into the high five.
Yeah, so the high five, waiting. Another one of my waiting stories, actually it's one of Phil's waiting stories, is that we travelled to Brazil years and years and years ago. And from the time we were there, he had a really strong desire to go back and actually to live there. And he knew that he'd married a home bird, a Brit who had no desire ever to go anywhere. And he just didn't say anything. A bit like Giles, I guess, with the family thing. He just didn't say anything. He waited, and it was about 5 years, really, before I really felt God prodding me and saying, I want you to go and live in Brazil. And we did actually go and live in Brazil. And it was all right, actually. All my dread came to nothing. But actually, this morning, I know there's a funny side to waiting, and it's about our impatience, isn't it? Yeah. But then there's a difficult side to waiting, and there's a feeling, we're going to be talking about that later this morning, that if God just doesn't see us in our waiting, he just isn't noticing our struggles, isn't noticing how difficult life can be. And actually, the passage we're going to look at this morning talks about even how young people, the most strong amongst us, can feel overwhelmed and can feel that life is difficult, just like Jane was talking about as she introduced her song. Where do we go with that? Well, our society says self-care. That's what our society... And I agree with self-care. I think self-care is great, but I want to say there's more to this than just self-care. When we feel overwhelmed, we can actually take it to God. And what is God's response? When we go to him in weakness, when we go to him overwhelmed, when we go to him saying, why aren't you acting on my behalf? Why aren't you doing something in this difficult time? And interestingly, in the passage we're going to look at this morning, God invites us to wait for him. Actually, the Bible uses the word hope and wait interchangeably. He says, can you hope in me? Or can you wait on me? And he lays out waiting as a virtue. And I think in our culture, particularly now, waiting is not really held up as a virtue, the ability to wait, because we are more and more told that we can get everything as fast as we want it. So it used to be that you'd go to the fruit and veg shop, you'd buy your carrots and your cabbage or whatever, and you'd go home and make something from scratch. Now you can go into the supermarket, you can get a pre-peeled carrot. Yeah. You can even get a pre-chopped carrot.
I like
and
those.
In fact, you can buy a pre-cooked carrot. What you can't buy is a pre-eaten carrot, thankfully. That wouldn't be good. But do you get what I mean? The whole idea of the online shopping. When can I get it? Can I get it by tomorrow? And we don't even want to think about where that thing is coming from. I ordered a book on Monday night. Big, huge, thick book. And it arrived on Wednesday about lunchtime. And as it kind of came into my hands, I thought, I wonder where this came from. I wonder how far it actually travelled between Monday night and now. So is waiting something that we develop in our lives, or is waiting something that we feel is just an imposition on our lives? So we're going to be talking a bit more about that later on. What do you think? You good waiters?
Not really. Not really. No, I think that online thing is just really interesting how that's changed, isn't it? So, and I mean, we got some mango, Chloe and I, the other day, and I always looked nowadays to see where things come from. Yeah. Egypt, but it probably flew out of Egypt only a couple of days ago. You know, it's just this instant thing going on. Absolutely. So it's learning new ways and new rhythms, isn't it, to slow down a bit and just be waiting. And I think my relationship with God, often he'll do that on purpose, just to sort of make that muscle grow
Because- yeah.
stronger.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've definitely got some things where I'm waiting still, and it's almost I've got to go through that process a bit, which is what I think you're talking a bit about later.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think for me, if you have tried to come through Bookham over the last couple of weeks, you will know all about waiting.
Yeah.
All right, and I have sat in some of those queues on Church Road, coming up to the square about, and
With some
it's
very
been
impatient
chaos.
people, yeah.
All right, and if ever there's a life lesson about whether you wait well or wait badly, I reckon if you stand on near the square about around rush hour, you're going to see the best and the worst, I reckon. But the other thing that really struck me when you were talking, Jill, was about that, how the Bible uses waiting and hoping, kind of meaning the same thing. And it took me back to Brazil, because in Portuguese, esperança is wait and hope. It's the same verb, which was interesting, wasn't it? But also thinking about waiting, I guess all of us, and the shops certainly have kicked off already, is waiting for Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. And with Christmas coming up, I want to just share with you an event that is happening right here in Bookham on the 25th of November, so on Thursday. The High Street is going to be closed off to traffic, and the wonderful local traders are going to be open and in Christmas festive mood, and we would love to see you all there. We had a bit of a Christmas last year was a bit of a wah, wasn't it? So could you as a community really come out on Thursday night, and let's pack the high street with festive cheer and give the traders a really good time there, and just really support that event. All right. So Giles,
great.
anything on
We've
the
got
chat?
We've got an obvious one about football. So Peter, thanks for that. So when he was 10 years old, England won the World Cup. So that means you were born in. No, we won't go there, Peter. And I've been waiting for them to win again ever since.
Oh, bless him.
But
Thank
it
you,
is
Peter.
coming home, isn't it?
It is coming home. Yeah. And Aids made a really good point. He said sometimes when we text people, we expect an immediate answer or message people. And actually, I was just saying, I've had a supplier recently, and he's very clearly bounces one back saying, I might take 48 hours to come back to you. And I thought, well, fair play. At least I'm being managed back to waiting.
Yeah, it used to be that you would write a letter, put it in an
Send it
envelope,
off.
walk to the post box.
Yeah. Remember to post it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, folks, that's us wrapping up. We really hope that you've had some food for thought, not chewed carrot for thought, but some food for thought around waiting and how well or how badly you wait, and the fact that God can not only expect us to wait, but really we get really blessed, we get really developed when we wait well. All right, so we hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks ever so much for your comments on the live stream.
Thank you.
We have got another service coming up later on this morning. So if you want to tune into our live stream just after 11 o'clock, Jill's going to be bringing a bit more about what she's introduced this morning. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to get a lot from it. So it'll be wonderful to see you there. So goodbye from us, and you have a fantastic rest of the weekend. Bye-bye now.
Bye.